by Murtag, and the donation incentive was met, so we're going to be having a blindfolded glaive level.
All right, hey everyone, welcome to Dust and Elysian Tale. I'll let you know when time starts. I'll just kick it off. So this is Dust and Elysian Tale. It's like a Metroidvania combat game. It's really fun. Highly recommend you pick it up. It's actually recently released on Switch. We are going to be playing through the Warpless category, which is as opposed to the Warps category, which uses a glitch where anytime you're on a map screen, you can just instantly teleport to any tile. So we're not going to use that, which makes the run about 3 times longer. Warps is about 17 minutes. This world record on Warpless is about 43 minutes. The other thing is we're playing on casual difficulty. It's just much faster to play on casual. Firstly, you can't die. Anytime you die, you immediately res, which is useful, as we'll see. But mainly, you have infinite energy. So most of the movement tech we'll be doing throughout the run requires energy, and we just have to constantly run out of energy and have to wait if we weren't playing on casual. But on casual, we can just do it infinitely. Yeah, and so the very first level of the game is called Glade, and I'm going to be playing through that blindfolded, which is a bit of a meme within the community, but I've been practicing it to see how fast I can do it. So time starts when I hit skip on this cutscene, so I'm going to go on my blindfold. And are you ready on time? Are you ready on time? Okay, I'll count you in. 3, 2, 1, go. So straight away I'm abusing the cancelling system in this game. So you can cancel pretty much any attack into any other attack. So by doing a certain combo and then jump slashing out of it, I kind of move slightly faster than walking. Also, playing this game blindfold is actually very hard. There's very little audio cues. Oh. The big thing is there's no audio cue for walking into walls in this game. So I have no idea if I'm just walking into a wall. So we're immediately going to go for our first skip. Nice, and we got it. So that's called Deer Skip, and that skips the first fight in the game, so it's about 10 seconds. So we're going to go for another skip on the next screen. That is frame perfect and no audio cue, so it'll be pretty impressive if we get it. You also can't exit screens if there are mobs nearby, so I just have to get rid of them. Okay, I don't think we've got it. Oh crap. Oh. I think I clicked out of the window and can't click back in. Can someone click on the inside the game window? I don't know how I've managed to do this. It's because I'm on a different PC. Go. Okay, I'll give it another go. Have I done it again? Yes. I think I'm not used to the mouse and stuff, so doing this blindfolded because I have to click in and outside the window is pretty difficult. You're inside the window? I'm inside the window. Right, yeah, okay. So, yeah, so that is, the trick I tried to get was Dust Storm cutscene skip. So basically, this is the only unskippable cutscene with dialogue in the game, but there's one frame at 60 FPS where if you click outside the window, then you can skip it. So you just have to basically, it's basically you use visual reference to try and get it. Obviously blindfolded, it's very hard. But we get this 30-second cutscene where we introduce Dust Storming, which is where we spin our sword around. We'll see it a bunch later on. So, moving through this area, the room after this is actually the hardest room blindfolded. If I get hit, I just won't know where I am, so I just have to guess. Yeah, I'm getting hit a lot, so... Okay, I think I know where I am. Okay, cool, I'm in the top right of the screen. Cool, so I made it through that, not too bad. That was actually pretty fast. There should be a wall. Okay. The audio is very echoey on these headphones, making it very, very difficult. I think I'm all the way on the right. I'm pretty sure. And then hopefully we should be exiting out now. Okay, yeah. So then its next movement is kind of precise, and I'll get pretty lost if I mess it up, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay. Lost where I am. Okay. There we go. Okay. Nice, we got the key. Needed that. Okay. Just need to check what cutscene I was on. So these are bombs. You pull them with the dust storm ability. Oh. Okay, this is not one. Slightly lost myself here. Okay, thank God. Okay, so reloading there lets us skip a cutscene for reasons. Okay, we need to lure this slime away so that we can get through the transition. Yeah, so you just have to memorize when you're able to skip these cutscenes. It's usually when dialogue starts. So we're going to do another trick here where we jump over a trigger of the boss fight. I'm pretty sure we got it. And there we go, that's Blindfolded Glade. That maybe wasn't quite as fast as I'd hoped, but with a pair of headphones I never used, a mouse I never used, I think that was okay. Got to show it off. So now we're actually going to go fast. So you've already seen me doing this movement that I've been doing so far, but I'll may as well explain it. So I'm actually not just rolling over and over. I'm actually cancelling the end leg of the rolls with crouch slashes. We call that aerial dodge cancelling, but I'll just be calling it rolling. This movement here is called ADCing. Aerial dodge cancelling is the same, but with a aerial dust storm in between the rolls. Here, the reason why we needed those 4 keys was to buy these TP stones, which lets us go from save points to the world map, which saves a lot of time. Mostly used in Chapter 3. Another trick here, if we talk to an NPC while leaving a screen, it buffers talking to them. And stops other cutscenes from playing. So there'd be an unskippable cutscene here, but we just totally skip that. So we're into like the first real area. So this is where the run kind of really gets tricky. So all the movement here is very, very planned out to try and avoid red barriers, because they can lose a huge amount of time. We're already really quite weak in terms of strength, so we just can't afford to actually fight enemies. So we're just going to be trying to lure them away as efficiently as we can. Oh. And usually we'll be kind of hugging the top of the screen. That's like a good strategy to avoid the mobs, but it doesn't always work, but we'll kind of use different strategies, different rooms. Another technique that we'll be seeing in this room is using Fidget, the orange bat following us around, to use a projectile to force enemies into the air. If we attack towards the enemies, we get launched towards them, especially with the aerial dust storm, which is the spinning sword attack, and then we can get launched really high up towards the top of the screen, which is really helpful. This is a tricky red barrier to avoid. Ah, we didn't get it. Should be able to do the backup. There we go. There, just like boosting off those flying enemies to really far. This is another room where it's really tricky to not get red barriered. We want to lure these aerial enemies nice and high, and duke them through the barrier. Just barely got through there. Here we're using Fidget to distract these enemies, kind of stun them so they can't follow us towards the red barrier. More boosting through here. Here we want to avoid getting a cutscene, so we need to kind of boost in a very particular way, and hopefully we get it. We've not got a very good boost. I've managed to recover it, nice. Here I want to keep both bombs, which is pretty tricky, but we managed to get it. So one of the many things I'm juggling all the time is also managing my XP. I really don't want to kill any enemies. I don't want to level up in this whole section at all, and I'm really close to leveling up. It's the blue bar below my HP, so I don't want to kill any enemies at all. Oh. Yeah, by keeping that second bomb, we can use it on this wall, which saves like a second. Pick up this key for a chest that we're going to need. So we're going to do a pretty hard strat. The strat we're about to do is like a real killer for new runners. It's called EFS, Early Flesh Sheath. So this is like a Metroidvania game where you pick up power-ups as you go. One of them is climbing walls, and these are the kind of walls you can climb, but we don't have that ability yet. You're supposed to come back here way later, but by using the Rising Dust Storm technique where we gain infinite height against walls, we can do this. And use that key we just picked up. Oh, open this chest. And we just made our attack go from 60 to about 150. So we are way, way stronger now. We can easily one-shot all the enemies here. Unfortunately got red barriered here, so we can just climb over this red barrier. There we go. So we're going to do an interesting strat here where we roll while saving. The game doesn't appreciate that and puts us out of bounds. And then we pick up a power-up which is stored out of bounds until you beat the boss of that area. So by picking up the power-up, the game is just like, oh well, you must have beaten the boss, otherwise how could you have that power-up? So it's going to hit some story triggers to get out of here. One last strat of this chapter is to jump over a very tall trigger that starts a really annoying fight. It takes 13 Rising Dust Storms to get over it. I'm going to do some extra just for safety. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're just going nice and far just to make sure. If I'd got that fight, not only would it lost a bunch of time, but I also would have leveled up and missed out on doing a strat coming up. So I've actually got the right XP required to do the next strat, so I'm really happy about that. It's hard to do in a marathon setting. Pick up these bombs though, we need them. So we kill this enemy and immediately leave and start the next chapter. So we're about to get the XP from that mob, which will level us up. So this cutscene is about to play, but we're going to level up, get knocked back out of the room, which skips the cutscene. So now we're going to try and carry these bombs as far as we can. So this strat is kind of RNG, but not really required. It saves about 15 seconds if we get it though. So this is one of the first bomb strats in the run. So bomb strats are pretty infamous because basically if they ever touch any enemies, it's game over, they blow up. But we really want to use them for bomb walls. So we're going to intentionally kind of manipulate what the mobs and where we put our bombs to try and get them into the right position. So this might be okay. Let's see. Yeah, so there they are. Okay, there's enemies look like... Yeah, okay, so we lost one of the bombs. Hopefully you can still do this, a slightly less good version of this strat with just one bomb. Oh, and then the enemy jumped. And so we lost the strat. So we're going to lose about 15 seconds here doing the backup, but come back. I need to kill these enemies so they don't mess with the bombs. So this whole area I wouldn't have to do if I'd got that bomb strat, but it's all good. It's kind of an inconsistent strategy to go for, so you just kind of go for it every run. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Come on. So that's one bomb. And then the second bomb there. Another strat where we move while saving. Kind of confuses the game. Puts us out of bounds. So we're below the level now. We really don't want to touch the bottom of the screen. Bottom of the screen will make the game freak out and put us back in our last safe location, which will be the start of the screen. Obviously we'll have to retry this strat then. Ooh, okay. Okay, I don't normally... Okay, I've never fallen down here before, but we should be able to recover it. Okay, yeah. I was like, I hope there's just collision here that can help me get up. Hopefully we can get it. Yeah, okay. Okay. So we're back in bounds. So now we're going to start another trick. This is one of the two incredibly difficult tricks in the run. This one is called Bopo Bomb. It saves like a minute and a half though, so it's basically required for a good run. And it is the hardest bomb strat. So we're going to be carrying these bombs a very, very long way. Okay, that was very close. So we only need one bomb, so that's okay. But it means we have no lifelines anymore. So going to be playing it very... Okay, that really, really sucks that we didn't get it. I'm tempted to go back and go get the bombs, but it's not worth it. So we'll have to do the backup. That really sucks. I got bad RNG with the enemies jumping over me. This is easily the biggest reset point of the run. Yeah, if you don't get that strat or that happens, you just instantly reset. But we do have a backup for marathons, so hopefully we can get through now these enemies. Is he gonna... What are you doing? There we go. So you see, like, we'd have to carry the bombs through all of these rooms, all of through here. Up here. And along into this room. So just trying to do like optimal movement to just get through these areas as fast as possible. I'm not used to doing this without bombs, but it's all good. We've got another strat coming up here. There's a boss fight where the trigger has a slight gap in it, so we can get over that trigger. We actually didn't quite get it there. That sucks. I slightly hit the ceiling and got knocked down, so we'll actually have to fight these bosses. I'm going to have to skip these cutscenes. So normally we would have skipped all these cutscenes and... Another trick, turn around while entering a screen. Makes you immediately leave the scene and then you can skip the cutscene. So this is where the Bopa Bomb trick would end, so we'd have to carry the bombs all the way through up to here. So this wall on the left here, we'd blow that up with the bombs. So I need to do a backup. So I need to open up this exit, which normally I wouldn't have to do, but for the backup I will need to. Otherwise I would get stuck, and that would be really bad. So normally we would just go fight the boss immediately, but that's not an option without that wall blown up. So we need to go get the slide power up now. So these are some pretty technical rooms. Ah no, I accidentally messed up there. Very, very easy to get hit on one of the spikes. Like that. So we're going to go get the slide power up, which is completely required to beat the game. There's no known way to beat the game without slide. Even in the warps category they need it. So we definitely need it. It also lets us do a new movement tech, so it's kind of cool for that reason. Just roll in a particular location. There we go. When there's wind against you, it's fastest to just dust storm through those. So this is slide. Oh. So this lets us go through small gaps like this, and it also lets us slide boost, which is where you slide at an edge and immediately cancel that into an attack. You kind of get the momentum from the slide, and it's just slightly faster. Oh. So TP out, and then we're going to head back through the exit that we opened to go fight the boss. But we do need to do kind of an old strat that we used to do like years and years ago. Oh, didn't mean to pick up that up. In order to get to the fight early. So we're not going to actually do the intended strat to get to the boss fight. We're going to just get a bomb from elsewhere and bring it back. Now I'll be honest, I haven't exactly practiced this backup a whole ton. Because normally you don't need to do it. Getting trolled by these enemies. Yeah, there we go. So we need to kill these enemies, otherwise they'll destroy our bomb, and that'll be bad. There we go, kill this guy. So this is the bomb we're going to use. It doesn't have a very long timer on it. Oh, there was an enemy that I had left. He was obviously hiding. Pull it along. Come on. So by transitioning a bunch of times, every single time I do this, it actually adds extra time on the bomb. So I'm just doing this to make sure that I have enough time to get it to the end. So just going to be rising dust storming over this room to try and avoid any enemies. Okay, did not want to go down here, but come on, don't troll me. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. And then this should bring it through. And then we blow the wall up. So we're actually exiting, entering the boss fight from the exit, which is a bit weird, but it totally works. We're going to be picking up a power-up here that we absolutely do not need. It's the lightning power-up fidget, but it's just a really helpful ability to have. It just makes her attack much more instant, and we'll be using it a bunch, so it's worth doing. Here I'm using a technique where I use keyboard and mouse at the keyboard and controller at the exact same time, which basically does a weird thing. The game doesn't really like you using the keyboard and controller at the same time, and it doubles up my mashing. That's why I was able to be able to attack really fast, and also standing on that particular platform just confuses the AI of Tethys completely, and she just stands there, and that's his crouch slasher. Okay, so now that we've got slide, we've beaten the boss, we can end the chapter. Nice. It's pretty hard to get through that gap. Feels good to get it though. So this is probably the biggest downtime of the run, so if you have any donations, go for it.
We do. We have a $5 anonymous donation saying, having great fun at UKSG. I want to apologise for the lack of red in the previous one, but hopefully these issues will be resolved. We do hope we'll have them all resolved as well. But thank you for your donation. And I just want to say again, you are watching UKSG. We are the UK Speedrunner Gathering, a 2-day speedrunning marathon held 4 times a year. And right now we're watching an amazing Dust and Elysian tail run here. The blindfold was absolutely spectacular. Like, that was amazing. Just want to say as well, we do have the Battle Block Theatre donation incentive still coming. We do need, I believe it's $40 left to get the true any % version. That is coming up. That is our last run of the evening, so there's still some time, but please do keep your donations coming in. Your donations are going to Young Minds, and Young Minds is a charity that are helping all young minds feel supported and empowered, whatever the challenges. Your donations are going to help make sure young people get the best possible mental health support and have the resilience to overcome life's difficulties.
So we're starting chapter 3 now, which is definitely the hardest and most technical chapter of the run. There's tons of tricks, and there's probably the most technical trick in the entire game as well. So we'll be going through that. So this chapter is really long because it isn't just a matter of getting to the end. We also need to go through 4 mansions, pick up 4 items to unlock the boss. But first, we're going to pick up an item here. Since it's really close to our path anyway, we pick it up and it gives us another 60 attack. There we go, equipped it. So there's a little mini boss fight here. Assuming that she doesn't immediately jump. Oh wow, she jumped to the right. That's incredibly rare. That's not supposed to happen. I've seen that 3 times ever now. Yeah, so lost a tiny bit of time there, but worth it for the incredibly rare occurrence. So killing some enemies here because they're right next to the red barrier, and there's no way we get past. So even though we got the flesh teeth earlier, you can already see that our damage is massively falling off. We're doing okay damage now. There's another bomb strat. Not had a good track record with them so far this run, but we'll see if we get this one. This is Soaring Bomb. It's a fairly tricky strat. The very ending in particular is pretty scary, but so a nice slide boost there, you see. So it's a good example of a slide boost. We still don't have the vine grip, so we need to go up here. Just do an extra transition to get extra time on the bombs, and then leave the bombs over there. Killing these slimes, because otherwise they would interrupt us when we're doing our strat. Okay, so hopefully no zombies jump over me. Okay, nice. Nice, so that's the scary part. You have to get that bomb around that nest. If it touches the nest, it's game over, you lose the bomb. You have to do the backup, which is really scary and slow. So we got it, Soaring Bomb, nice. So, but the strats don't end, so we're immediately going into a pretty tricky out of bounds strat. So this is one of the 3 roll clip out of bounds in the run. I'm just going to kill these enemies so they don't distract us while I'm doing it. So basically there is one frame while walking left on an edge like this where you can clip out of bounds, and it will basically take as long as it wants. At the last time I did this marathon it took about 40 attempts, so we'll see if we get it in less than that. Sometimes you just get it first try. There's a couple of different steps people use to try and get it. I try and line myself up a little bit before doing it. Some people just YOLO it over and over. That's the most common strat actually. We will try that if this is not panning out. Okay, I'll try the slightly more ambitious strat. There we go, it worked. Yeah, so that's what most people do. I don't like doing that because it's pretty random whether you get it. Just doing some blind movement while out of bounds, fall back in bounds, and we're very close to our first mansion now. There's a bit of a tricky strat here, so making sure I hit the save point so I can just reload if I don't get it. That's probably not good. Oh nice, we just barely got it. Yeah, so you see that green guy following us is Kane. He's the boss, but he's invulnerable right now. We need to collect these 4 items to make him vulnerable and actually fight him. Okay. Just get through here. There's a bit of a weird RNG tricky strat coming up right now. Where it's very hard to not get red barriered in this next red barrier, but let's see if we get it by doing very particular movement. Yeah, nice, we got it. Nice, yeah, so that's the first mansion done. So we're going to use those TP stones that we bought way earlier to exit out to the world map from that save point. And we went to this place out of bounds, this way you don't recognize it. It might become a little bit more familiar in this room. Just south of here is where we went out of bounds. So we'll be using this exit several times throughout the run. Oh. Yeah, so those rooms are actually kind of scary because those wizards, the big flying things, they're basically invulnerable. So if they red barrier us, we can't just kill them. We'd have to like figure out a way to lure them away, which can take as long as it likes. So really being careful not to do that. Oh, that slime's a little bit far to the right. So the zombies below us, so hugging the ceiling so we don't get red barriered. And going along, so on our way to mansion number 2. Nice, we got that boost straight away. We got an alright boost from those zombies. So using that rising dust storm technique to stay along the ceiling, and then ADCs to go really fast along the ground. Hopefully I don't get red barriered here. Happens sometimes. You saw the red barrier starting to form. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hopefully we fall through. Ah, went slightly too far. So I use counting in my movement a lot for consistency. Helps out a whole load. Slide boost here. Into mansion number 2. Kane's still following us, but we're just too fast for him. In practice, I actually did get caught by him and got hit because I was going so slow. Hopefully that won't happen. Boost off these zombies. So this next room is a bit annoying because there's an exploding zombie and it's random where he spawns in the room, and if he spawns on the left hand side, it's you get a kind of a bit stuck and blown up, but that time it was good RNG. So oh, slightly messed up falling down there though, no big deal. There's a guy with a shield on our left, so we need to get over him. I'm using another TP stone to exit out. Okay, so going through these 4 rooms again to go to mansion 3. Oh yeah, so if you go slightly too low there, you get stuck and that guy hits you. No big deal though. More slide boosts and boosts off the wizards. Yeah, it's much faster to go from that exit than with the place that we started, or to just go straight from mansion to mansion. This map is really sprawling and split up, and that exit is kind of conveniently placed. So coming up is probably the most technical trick in the entire game. Basically nobody goes for it. Wow, we got the out of bounds straight away, so that was another out of bounds clip. But the hard part is coming up, it's getting back in bounds. Basically, I won't be able to see my character. There's a wall on top of me that bounces me back. There's a lip on the left-hand side. Wow, we got it straight away. I made that look really easy. That is really, really hard. Like, that can take so many tries. Where's our bombs? Nice. Yeah, and we got the bombs quickly as well. So that was an incredibly good soaring out of bounds 2, which is the name of that trick. Yeah, it doesn't have a very creative name, but oh well. I wish I could get that in my PB. So I mentioned 3 out of 4. This time we actually get a cutscene introducing us to Kane. Nice little slide boost there. Oh. So with these mansions, you know, because we're going so fast and we're constantly edge of the screen, you just have to memorize everything that's upcoming, which, yeah, makes these just really technical and difficult parts of the game. So we actually now have this the climb power up, so we can now climb, which is much faster than other techniques to go up walls. So it's worth picking up, especially because it's right in our path. Oh. So we're just going to head over to the 4th mansion, which is conveniently pretty close to this one. It does need the vine power up though. Well, it doesn't need it, but it's much, much faster to use. So I'll be using that all the way up here. So if we were just RDSing with the Rising Dust Storm up here, this would be like really slow, so hopefully get a nice boost up here. Not exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. When you're boosting, if you touch any walls, you kind of lose your momentum, so you have to be really careful. Nice, that was a good boost. Don't normally get a boost that good. And then, whoop. Slide boost to finish this out, but I've got to maintain my height to not get rid barriered. Trying to boost off these wizards as well as I can. Any air is good because it lets me ADC rather than just roll along the ground, which is a little bit faster. You can drop through this platform for some reason. What you can and can't drop through is just like totally random in this game. There's no real logic to it. Oh. Yeah, so you'll see me, especially in the mansion, using attacks just to gain a little bit of height, like right there, just to land on those staircases a little bit earlier. Here we lure Kane over so we can boost off Kane. Oh, almost fell down, that would have been bad. Oh, there we go. Climb up some vines. Using the D-pad while climbing is actually a really good strat, so if you're new to this game, try using the D-pad when climbing. It makes a huge difference. So that's our last item, which is why we got a cutscene. So we just need to head back to the central room to fight the boss. So just do some movement to get out of here really fast. Went a little bit too far, but... Oh. And we're out. So we're going to be using our favorite exit one last time to go back to the central hub where the boss is. Hopefully we don't get red barriered in this area. Like, the wizard can just spawn zombies, and he can spawn zombies right on the exit if he really wants to, which is just so trolly when he does that. Yeah, when I first like saw runs of this, I just assumed that oh god, by just doing like a move into the air, you just fly into the air. But it's always because there's an enemy above me, which is why that works. So now we're going to be fighting the boss, and so there's a strat for this boss game that I've kind of developed myself, which nobody else does because they're too scared of it. But basically, I'm going to do the same thing as Tetris, where I'm using keyboard and control at the same time, but I'm going to be pausing and unpausing the game to get iframes to avoid his attacks. Okay, that didn't... I was doing okay there, but he started juking me, so I'll revert to old strats. So it's a really hard strat to get. Basically, whenever you unpause the game, you get iframes until you press any button. Wow, this mouse is very sensitive. So we changed the difficulty to normal to kill him, because there's one downside of casual, which is your stat gems get automatically applied, and they get applied evenly. We don't want that. We want all of our stats in attack. And we just leveled up like 5 times, so... so we just changed the difficulty, which lets us put our stat gems where we want. And we're level 9, which is high enough, so should have 4 gems in attack here. We do, nice. Oh, accidentally pressed up, no big deal. And that's the end of chapter 3, so the longest chapter's done. So we've got 2 chapters left, both fairly technical. The first one is kind of more skill testing than the second, I'd say, so we got a lot of tricky things coming up. So one really interesting thing about this chapter, though, is the fact that we go to actually get the power double jump. So it's actually a completely optional ability, because obviously we can just RDS up any height, so we don't need double jump to beat the game, but it lets us do a trick later on, which makes it worth it. So that's why we're going to go pick it up. I'll let you know when we are doing that, and you'll see how much out of the way it is, but... Oh, nice. That jump is actually really tricky. There's loads of awkward boosts here. I need to boost, but kind of go to the left as well. And yeah, just about good enough. So here, normally we go right to continue with the game, but sorry, we normally go left, but instead we will go right. Ah, okay. So those are like bombs that blow up when you're near them. If you go even slightly too slow, you get screwed. So just slightly too slow there. Ah, it's pretty rare to get a red barrier here, but we will figure it out. So that's an example of us dying. And there's us dying again, because we're so low level that we're just getting like one shot. Wow, these enemies are just not giving up. Yeah, getting red barrier there is really annoying and slow, but it doesn't happen very often, but marathon luck, etc. So here's like a little mini boss that we have to do to get double jump. So, oh, boss does not normally do that, but being okay, this should, yeah, not seen. Normally you want to lure the boss a little bit over towards the middle, like here, because she just wasn't coming over. It's kind of weird, but it's all good. So we now have double jump, which lets us actually do a new movement tech, which is really cool. People call it, I call it double jump movement. Some people call it double jump dash cancelling, which is probably more accurate. But basically, you can't normally cancel a roll with a jump, but you can with a double jump. So we're doing that, and then immediately cancelling that into aerial dust storm, which lets us go really fast, because the start of roll is really fast, and then we just carry that momentum. So you see there, we're just going like really fast. I'm going to be using that a whole bunch. But now we're only finally back to where we started, so it's before we detour to get double jump. So one more of those roll out of bounds clips. This one is definitely the easiest. Yes, I got it first time. Nice. Hopefully this wolf will be really nice and give us a lovely little boost, but nah, the wolf didn't fancy it this time. Just kind of climb up this wall out of bounds. Do some out of bounds movement. Nice, we just barely got that. And then go off the top of the screen, and this skips like a whole little side quest where you go through the ice cave. jumping over a trigger here that's just to my left. And then double jump movement up here. You can even do it while in the air because it uses your double jump, not your regular jump. Like there, just really satisfying to like chain that into. Another awkward little boost here. Hopefully these enemies will be nice to us. There we go. The enemies I wanted didn't really come up, but oh, there we go. Okay, that was okay. Nice. So we need to lure this enemy a little bit and get through before he red barriers us. Nice. Oh, that's what it looks like when you mess up a double jump movement. Yeah, because it's 3 inputs every single time I do that. Let's roll. Oh, it's it's roll, jump, aerial dust storm. Oh, I fell down. Concentrating. So this is a fairly tricky strat. It relies on this enemy's movement. Looks like she's being nice. She's not. She was nice in the end. This is another cool room if done fast. Basically, normally you're stuck on cycles, but by damage boosting, we can like skip out the cycles, and we can skip one more cycle by taking that damage boost. Yeah, it's nice. That's like a perfect room. Oh, I almost got red barriered there, which has literally never happened. Oh. Okay, so yeah, so using the lightning, a fidget here to just raise all the enemies into the air so they can't red barrier us. So in all these rooms here, there's actually wind pushing me to the left. You can't really see it if you're not playing, but it's super annoying, but I'll handle it, I promise. There we're through. So we're almost done with Blackmore now. That was a fairly decent Blackmore, I'd say. But we've got to just jump over the trigger of a boss fight here. 1, 2, 6, 7. And that is enough to get over the trigger that's below us right now, which starts the boss fight. Just need to double jump movement through here. Hit a bunch of story triggers. And we'll be done with this chapter. Move on to the very last chapter, which has a lot of its own challenges. But before we go to the very final area, Everdawn, we do need to do one last trick. So a trick we did before, which was where we talked to an NPC while leaving a screen. We're going to do that again. So as a reminder, how this works is basically it queues up the cutscene of talking to the NPC, and that blocks other cutscenes from playing. So we're going to talk to a nice little Gihan here while leaving the screen. And there. So we just can skip that cutscene. Another one of those jumping over a trigger here. It makes all these NPCs not care about us. We can just waltz straight by them. But here is a really interesting strat here. This is called yellow gate skip. This requires double jump, which is the whole reason why we pick up double jump. I need to exit this room in the very top right hand corner, which is fairly tricky. I think that was good enough. We'll see if it is. That is not good enough. I don't know where I am. Okay, that's so need to give it another go. I was slightly too low. The problem is if you hit the ceiling, you immediately fall. So it's a very precise trick to do consistently. That won't be good enough. That still won't be good enough. Okay, that looked better. Yeah, there we go. We just clip straight out bounds. So I buffered 2 sets of inputs during those transitions, one of which was a double jump. And that just puts us right out of bounds here, and we're going underneath a yellow barrier, which would require a whole side quest to be completed to go through it, so it saves a whole crap load of time. Oh, accidentally hit the right stick there. Oh, that's what happens when you stop RDSing a little bit too early. There we go, finally up. There's another power up that we're skipping, which means in updrafts you jump really, really high. But as you know, we have RDS, so we don't need that. Just totally skip that power up and go straight up here. Hopefully dodge this lava. Oh, that was a little bit sketchy. It's fine. There's a bunch of invisible enemies here that are super annoying. Hopefully they don't troll me. Distract them all with the lightning. And then turn around while leaving the room. Yeah, we got it. So that skips another unskippable cutscene. So this is the start of what I like to call the war rooms. So basically it's just rooms full of mobs. Because in the story there's a big war happening. You want to try and get a... Oh. So I'm looking for a ship along the ground here to use as a boost. Okay, that isn't what I wanted, but that's okay. There we go. Hopefully we land where I want to land. Yeah, that's okay. You just kind of have to deal with the... Ah, crap, slightly too low there. No big deal. So it's all about getting boosts off the enemies to go really high and avoid getting red barriered at the end of the room. Ooh. Missed up my double jump movement at a bad time there. But no big deal. Going through. Another boost off these ships. Hopefully we're going to get red barrier at the end of this room. There's a cutscene, and it's just kind of random. Oh, we were so close. Hopefully we can get through. Ah, no, and then the ship appeared. Nice, okay, we got through. So here I need to get hit onto 1 HP to do a strat called double cannon fire skip. There we go, okay. Nice, and we get a boost off that guy because we need some height here. So in the next two rooms there are cannons firing down on us. We really don't want to get hit on this room because we're going to do a strat called double cannon fire skip, but it requires us to not get hit here, which unfortunately we did. It's about 50-50. So there's about like a 1 in a million chance that I'll get to do the strat anyway. So we'll just fingers crossed. Yeah, so I immediately get hit. So what's supposed to happen is I get hit on the second room straight away. And then because I will actually die from it, I'll kind of maintain my height and be able to skip out this rolling along the floor, which is kind of super RNG. Yeah, but we managed to get through it. That's kind of okay. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of Everdorn. We've still got a couple more rooms left. And one last room full of enemies. I just want to get a little bit of extra height there. Hopefully we should get through. It's not looking good though. Need more height. There we go, nice, nice. So we're really close to the end of the game now. We need to do another one of those strats where we move while saving, which the game doesn't appreciate. Out of bounds. And we're just going to hit the trigger for the final phase of the final boss fight from out of bounds. So this boss fight looks really easy. We're just going to loop him with a particular combo over and over. But at any moment, as you've already seen twice, he can parry and knock us back. And once he does that, he can basically do whatever he wants. He has loads of attacks where he's invulnerable, have giant hitboxes, and it gets really, really bad. So the trick is just keep him in the loop, and as soon as he parries, you get straight back in. Normally it doesn't get out of hand, but it could do if he really, really wants it to. So it's going... It's been bad luck so far, but it's done okay. Yeah, so a good Gaius fight is like 1 parry, 2 is like alright. So far we've got like 4, so kind of below average, but hopefully he's nice for the remainder of the fight. Nice. So just 1 last hit from here, and then we're very close to the end of the run. We just have to do 1 last crawling section, and then they'll... so time is coming up in about 40 seconds. So 1 last thing to show off. There's nothing you can do to speed this up, but there is a little funny little glitch you can do. So by using a keyboard and holding right and left at the same time, Dust crawls forward without doing the crawling animation, which is kind of silly. You can see like that's him crawling, and then it's like, nope, I'm just gonna go along. So yeah, so when Dust's hand touches Gaius' hand, that is time, and that'll be the end of the run. So about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. So yeah, a little bit slower than maybe I was perhaps going for, but with didn't get a couple of strats like Bopo Bomb, and obviously doing Blindfolded Glade at the start, which cost a couple of minutes, but I hope you enjoyed the run. If you thought this was cool, you should definitely check out the speedrun.com. We've got a link to our Discord. We're really active. We've got tutorials for all the runs, all the different strats, and you can ask any questions. It's a really, really fun run. And if you want to try a more bite-sized run, there's Warps, which I personally really, really like, which is only 17 minutes long if you want to check out this game. And as I say, this game recently came out on Switch, so you can also play it there. It's really, really great. It looks beautiful. And thanks for having me. It's been really fun. Cool. Thanks.
Alright then, we do have a $30 donation from Bufu2K, which only has a comment of 30k Pog. And up and coming, we do have DuckTales Remastered with the runner Max Gentleman. If he's all ready to go, we can go over to that whenever he's ready. Alright then.
Time starts as soon as I just select the difficulty, so 3, 2, 1, go.